Hello everyone, I'm Cole from the Kingdom, and today we're talking more about the ending to Mass Effect 3. Last time we went over the endings we actually got, and my personal headcanon. Today we're talking about how I think the ending should have been handled. I'll also be talking a little about things that should have probably been brought up in the story, but I won't go too deep. There's a lot I would have suggested be done differently, particularly in the third act, but I'll save that for another video if you guys are interested. I also want to make it clear that I mean no disrespect to the people who worked on this game. Today we're just talking about how I would have rathered seen the ending handled. Yes, I'm aware of what the original ending was going to be and all that, but I think this still stands. So instead of the ABC ending, I would have made it a tiered ending. Which tier you get would be determined by your war assets. You see, the war assets are pretty much all affected by the choices you've made, meaning you don't close out the trilogy with one final choice. The ending you get is an amalgamation of all your choices. When it comes to the final battle, the war assets pay off in two main ways: the Crucible and the scientists, and your military strength. Now, I would have also said in-game what the scientists were doing. While we need physicists and engineers to make the Crucible, it's said that the blueprints were strangely simple once decoded. Now, some of the data was missing, and so they had to fill in those areas as well. Therefore, the scientists working on the Crucible were building it and making sure it worked when deployed. So, if you don't have enough scientists or Prothean artifacts and stuff, those missing components become a patch job. However, the rest of your scientists should be working on studying the Reapers, trying to reverse or resist indoctrination, making weapons that work better against their armor. They only had a little bit of that in the game, and I would have preferred more. So when it comes to the final battle, there are two main components as to which tier you get. A, the military escorting the Crucible into place, and B, the Crucible working. The ending you get is dependent on how much damage the Crucible takes, and how complete the Crucible is. In game mechanic terms, this comes down to your effective military strength, which is all your war assets together. I'm making these numbers up, but here are the possible ending tiers. Tier 1, less than 1500, dubbed Failure. This ending would be difficult to get. Basically, you would have to only do the main story and/or make all the wrong decisions. In this ending, the Crucible takes too much damage and/or isn't complete, and so it malfunctions and doesn't work. This is basically the refusal ending. We lose, but maybe the next cycle wins. But again, this would be super difficult to get. You would basically have to be trying to get this ending. Tier 2, 1500 to 3000, dubbed Sacrifice. This ending is a lot like Destruction. The Crucible fires, but can't focus the energy properly. This could go any number of ways: destroying all synthetics, destroying anything with Reaper code, which includes EDI and the Geth, maybe just a massive blast that destroys a whole bunch of stuff. Point is, the Reapers lose, but it comes at a great cost. This would probably be the second most common ending. Tier 3, 3000 to 5000, dubbed Victory. This would likely be the most common ending. This is the one where the Crucible takes minimal damage and/or is almost, if not entirely complete, and the Crucible fires just the way it was supposed to and destroys the Reapers. Though with Shepard still at the heart of it, he or she still dies. You could say he or she had to manually fire it. This would likely be the canon ending. Tier 4, 5000 or more, dubbed Survival. Exactly what it sounds like. This one would also be difficult to get. You would likely have to make a mix of Paragon and Renegade decisions and/or do just about every side quest you can. As someone who goes full Paragon, I would wish this could be done without any Renegade decisions, but, I understand that probably isn't fair. The point is, this is the ending where everything goes according to plan and Shepard survives. And just before cutting to the epilogue, it shows Shepard walking back on the Normandy and embracing their love interest before fading to black. If they don't have a love interest or they died at some point, it would just show them saluting the whole crew. In the Victory ending, it would show Shepard's name going up on the memorial board. In the Sacrifice ending, maybe it would show the Normandy being retired and turned into a memorial itself on Earth. The Failure ending, well, Destruction. And of course, each ending shows the Crucible firing and what happens to the Reapers before it cuts to whatever with the Normandy. And of course, each ending has an epilogue narrated by someone. Survival, Shepard narrates their happy ending. Victory, EDI. Sacrifice, Hackett. Failure, Harbinger. But in that case, it's followed by the implication that the next cycle wins. So there you have it, how I would have preferred the endings of Mass Effect 3 been handled. I realize it's not perfect, but it can never be perfect. Let me reiterate that I still adore Mass Effect and BioWare, and while I would have preferred a tiered ending, I am content now with the ending we got. partially because of my last video where I explained my headcanon. Well, that's it for now, guys. Be sure to comment and like. I'll see you later.